Good morning, friends. Welcome to GoOnlineTrainings.com. Hope the video access issues and SQL Server access issues got resolved. If not, you have to contact my team, Mr. Avinash, right? If you have any video access issues, you need to contact Mr. Avinash, okay? So I will be able to give you his number 991 991 9462. Okay, 9462 is the number for all any video access or video clarity. Sometimes you will be able to get, you don't get the clarity, so you will be able to call him and ask him so how to improve the quality and everything. So call this number and store this number always. Clear? If you have any other help, so Mr. Madhav is operational head of my company. His number is 93981 18506. Okay. So these numbers you must keep them always. And for any payments related or enrollment related, you will be able to talk to these numbers plus these numbers as well. Clear? So if you have any other concerns, you can also write a mail to me, bhaskarjogi@gmail.com. Any other issues, okay? So I will be able to help you guys. Sure. Now, we spoken about yesterday what is SSIS and what are the different things in DTS versus SSIS. This slide is not very important, very old slide. And but one thing we could understand is that SSIS clear. SSIS is going to be having a parallel execution is allowed, and here no parallel execution is allowed because hardware support was not there. Now hardware is drastically increased in it. Now you're able to see not only one processor in your computer, you're able to see multiple processors in your computer, right? So you're able to have that. Now, if you wanted to have furthermore customization and coding, olden days in DTS, no high level language support is given, only scripting is given. Now today, high level language C Sharp, VB.NET also you can use it within the ETL. Clear? We never write .NET coding and everything, but earlier we used to write the scripting languages, but we can write complex language you can write. You need not worry about .NET and everything. Nothing is used. But if you wanted to use as part of SSIS, we can use C Sharp and .NET. Okay. Scripting is not important. What is scripting? I'll tell you in simple example so that you will be able to understand. So we have a lot of languages, right? We have a lot of languages. So there is a language called Visual Basic. Now people are not using this. There is a language called Java. So many people are using this, right? So Java is from Sun Microsystems, Visual Basic from Microsoft. Clear? So using VB, Microsoft created VB script. Okay. So this is what is called VB script. So script means what? Script means not a complete VB language, at least some 10% of the language features are implemented, and this is what is called VB script. So VB script is created with the help of a VB language. Again, Java we have, again there is a JavaScript. Okay, so any scripting language is not so powerful. Why? Because it is going to be having only 10% of the Java features, not everything. Clear? So you have a full meals and you have a plate meals, right? Full meals means where you have unlimited food and everything. Plate meal means you have only limited food items that are available, right? So using a full meals, you can create a plate meals, something like that. So I need subset of items, not everything like that. So using a VB is completely a high level language, but I don't need all the features from coming from VB. So Microsoft is created VB script. So this was the language people are using in DTS. If you wanted to customize something, we should not be worried about what is VB, what is VB.NET, blah, blah, blah. And Java people, can use JavaScript. JavaScript is very small language and Java language is very, very big. So you need to understand what is the difference between a Java and a JavaScript, VB and VB script. Scripting languages are very, very tiny, small languages. Now, in SSIS, especially in SSIS, if you wanted to write complex programming means SSIS can implement today a C# language. C# using a .NET. Clear? So this is a complete language, full-fledged language we never use. But if you know C#, .NET, VB.NET, you can also develop a lot of complex algorithms in SSIS with the help of a C#, .NET, but we never use. But DTS was using VB script. VB script itself is a very, very small. You cannot have complex things cannot be achieved in the DTS. That was one more thing you need to understand. Clear, guys? So all of them, since it is there, I'm discussing, but these are not very important points. Okay. So yesterday we had seen what is a control flow, what is a data flow. You have to know this. Parameters, event handlers, package explorer, connection manager, all of them you will be able to get it so one by one later. One more thing you need to understand today, that is how SSIS can handle the data. How SSIS can handle the data? SSIS is one application, right? So, which is a software or application. It is going to go to source and get the data. It is going to go to the destination and write the data. It has to read the data from the source. That is what is called extracting. Extracting means reading the data from the source. Destination, it has to load the data, writing the data into the destination. So one application is going to be talking to one more application. Clear? The application may be SQL application, or maybe some Excel application, or it may be some X application, Y application. One application cannot talk to one more application without a driver. Remember that. Clear? For example, when you buy a printer and install the printer to your computer, so what will say? The computer will say installing the driver. You buy a camera and install the put the camera into your computer. So what your computer will say? Installing the driver. So if you wanted to install any printer or any application, one application need to talk to one more application means you need to have a cable. Cable you need to have it. That is networking. Plus you need to have what is called as a driver. So there are two types of drivers are available in the IT industry. So these drivers are available in Power BI, SAP, Java, .NET, everywhere. These drivers are going to be used. Clear? ODBC driver, and one more thing is called OLEDB driver. What is the difference? I'll tell you. ODBC means Open Database Connectivity Driver only for the relational databases. OLEDB for object linking and embedding database connectivity. You don't understand it. So you see this diagram. So how the data is going to be stored? Either data will be stored in SQL or non-SQL. Non-SQL means what? Files. Clear? Excel sheet, flat file, notepad. So all the global data, either you keep the data in SQL. SQL means not SQL Server, RDBMS. You may keep the data in RDBMS, or you must keep the data in the files. There is a driver called ODBC driver. It is created using a C language in 1992. Using this driver, anybody can read the data from SQL. SQL means any RDBMS, Oracle, SQL Server, blah, blah, blah. But if I wanted to read the data from file, file means notepad, Excel file, XML file, audio file, video file. If I wanted to read the data, this driver cannot be used. You have to use OLEDB driver implemented in 96, and it is using C++ language. Clear? It can read the data from here. It can also read the data from here. On top of that, you have some more drivers are created, ADO, ADO.NET. So ADO.NET can talk to OLEDB. OLEDB can talk to ODBC. So these are the different drivers are available. Clear? If you wanted to read the data from SQL database, what drivers we can use? ODBC or OLEDB also we can use, or ADO.NET also we can use it. These are simply wrappers. So this fellow again will go to this fellow, and again this fellow will go to here and get the data. So especially ODBC, OLEDB driver, every computer you will have. So if you go to Windows, in your computer you have these drivers already installed, you should not be worried about. If you install Linux, if you install Java, .NET, every application is going to be using to communicate with one application to another application. We need to have a networking configuration plus drivers also to be there. So this is the difference between ODBC and OLEDB driver. Clear? OLEDB can get the data from SQL, and OLEDB also can get the data from non-SQL. Non-SQL means what? Files. So Excel file, flat file, this one, that one. So these are the important points. Now the same slide, I have simplified it here. This is the same slide taken from the Google. Clear? So ADO.NET is created by Microsoft. Clear? So these are the basic things that you have to know about the drivers. What are the drivers we need to use? ODBC and OLEDB. Just you should know there is a driver to get the data, to read the data. That's what you need to understand. So the next topic I'm going to be discussing today is control flow tasks. So I wanted to open SSIS. How to open? Go to start dev env. SSIS is very, very easy. I'm telling you, it is a drag and drop software. No coding is required, but SQL Server knowledge you have to know in depth. Clear? If you know very good ETL with the data warehousing knowledge and SQL Server knowledge, you can prepare a CV and upload the CV for the Naukri Monster. Everywhere you will be able to get the calls. Clear? So without reporting. So you can also learn reporting later. You can create one more CV. In that CV, you can also include SSIS, data warehousing, plus Power BI, everything. You can prepare one more CV. One CV with ETL, one more CV with ETL reporting and SQL. Am I clear? So you will prepare. You will be able to prepare and get the lot of calls. You upload more than one CV, right? So this is how I'm able to open existing. I'm going to be opening SSIS demos. This one I'm going to be clicking on this, and you will be able to open the existing project. Yeah, am I clear? So you know you have a toolbox. This side you can close the toolbox. You can click on this, get the toolbox. You can close the solution explorer. You can go to view menu, click on the solution explorer. All of them we have discussed, right? Now, this is how you will be able to create a new SSIS package, right? Now, control flow, data flow you have. Now, if I go to control flow will have a task, right? So, lot of tasks are available. So, I have a data flow task, execute SQL task, analysis, bulk, this one, that one, task. Let us understand these tasks one by one. Okay, so SSIS has a control flow task. Let us understand these. First one is a data flow. Next one is execute SQL, analysis services processing, bulk insert, data profiling, execute package. Lot of things are available. Let us understand one by one. Already we spoken about the first favorite task is called data flow task. It is a task, it can perform ETL operations. It has sources, destinations, and transformations. When you drag and drop the data flow task here, first you have to drag and drop the data flow task. And when you double click on this, you will be able to go here. Or simply you click on this. Simply you can click on this. You are into data flow task. Data flow will have sources, destinations, and transformations from where you can read the data. ADO.NET means any source. CDC, Excel, flat file, OLEDB, raw file, XML, all these things we'll discuss one by one. And other destination means these are the destinations. These are the transformations we are going to be using, and control flow will have a task and data flow will have a sources, destinations and transformation. So control flow where you will be able to have the data flow and double click on this, you will be able to go. But if you don't keep this here, I'm deleting. If you go to data flow, it is closed. It is telling me no data flow task have been added here. Click here to add one. I need to click on this. When I click on, you will be able to get one data flow task here. Now when you double click on this, you will go, or simply you can clump here. Oh, without this task, let me delete it. If I delete it, I will not be able to go and do anything here. So control flow will have a one or more data flow tasks. Compulsorily, if you wanted to work with this, you have to first drag and drop like this. Then go and configure, right? So what is the data flow? I told you it is a task. It is to be within the control flow and it can perform ETL operations. It is going to be having sources, destinations and transformations. We will discuss one by one after a few days. The next one is called execute SQL task. So the next one is, this is important. Favorite means important activities. These are the activities we are going to be doing in SSIS heavily. That is the important thing. It is saying it is my favorite. Favorite means we are going to be eating or using that regularly. That is the meaning of favorites, right? So this is the favorite activity I'm going to be using. So what is this fellow is going to be doing? If you wanted to do some activity, drag and drop, right? So what is execute SQL task? I'll tell you. So it is used to execute SQL statements like creating a table, dropping a table, inserting the data, deleting the data, writing the stored proc, executing the stored proc, everything. All the code you can copy and paste and you can execute it here. It performs batch operations. It is very, very faster. For example, I wanted to insert thousands of rows. I wanted to read the data or I wanted to delete the data. So it can delete all the data at a time. So when you say delete from employee table has 1 million data. Clear? It is going to be deleting not row by row. Deleting a row by row is called a row operation, right? It is not going to be deleting one by one, one by one. So what normally we do? It is going to be going and deleting at a time 10,000 rows, at a time 50,000 rows. That is what is called a batching operation. Clear? So what is a batching? Batching means instead of giving one by one, we give couple of things at a time. What is advantage of batching? Very fast. For example, your mother is making a coffee. There are 10 people in your home today. Guests came to visit your family. There are 10 people came to your house. So normally what will you do? You offer some drinks, right? So a coffee or the tea, or you will have some buttermilk, something, some drinks you are going to be offering. Now, will you be serving one coffee by one coffee, or you take a tray, put some 5 coffees and serve the coffee, again go to the kitchen, get 5 more coffees. There are 10 people. What you do? You have a tray, using a tray, you are serving 5 copies one time, 5 more copies one more time. So what will happen from dining hall to the kitchen, kitchen to dining hall? How many times you have to rotate? Only 2 times. Why? You are using a batch operation. Okay. When you use the batch operation, IO means going from a processor to the hard disk, harder to the computer, input output will be reduced. So instead of going to the dining table twice, dining room to the kitchen to 10 times, you are going to be only walking 2 times. Why? Because you're using a batch operation. Clear? So when you use the batch operation, IO will be reduced. IO means input output. Getting the data row by row, getting row by row deleting is 10 times you have to delete 10 rows. If you have a 1 million data, 1 million times you have to go to the hard disk and delete it. That will be irritating job. Clear? So batching operation means doing the data with faster and with simple activities. Simple example I have quoted just now is using a tray is a batching operation. Why? So if you wanted to serve 10 cups of coffee, you have to get 5 cups first, 5 cups later. So two times when you rotate, when you move from kitchen to the dining room, dining to the room, kitchen, so two times your work will be done. You are faster. Instead of getting one coffee, again go back to the kitchen, get the second coffee, again go back to the kitchen, get the third coffee, means you will take more time, you will get tired. Clear? So row operations are slower, batch operations are faster. Batch operations always will reduce IO operation. IO means going from one place to another place more frequently. Going to the kitchen, get one cup of coffee. Again going to the kitchen, get the second cup of coffee. That will be useless. అర్థమవుతుందా లేదా? సో బ్యాచింగ్ ఆపరేషన్స్ ఆల్వేస్ ప్రిఫర్డ్. ఇఫ్ ఐ వాంటెడ్ టు సర్వ్ 10 cups of coffee, use a tray. What is the advantage of a tray? It will create a batch operation, right? If I wanted to delete 10,000 million data, deleting row by row is irritating job. You go delete 20,000 rows at a time. You go and delete 20,000 rows at a time. So that is what is execute SQL task is doing. Execute SQL task is faster. Why? Because it is not going to perform a row by row operation. Inserting the data, it is not going to be taking a row by row. What it does, it will take all of them, it will accumulate 50,000 rows, then it will insert. It will accumulate 20,000 rows, then insert. Clear? Somebody is giving you one item, you're going to the storeroom and putting, again coming for the second item. Will you do like that? Or will you take a tray and put some 20 items in the tray, go to the storeroom and store it and come back? So that what will happen? You can take whatever you can, capable of, handling. Those many items you take it at a time, go to the storeroom and store it, right? So that is what is called performing batch operations. అర్థమవుతుందా? Batch operations are always faster. Batch operations are always faster. Row by row operations are always slow. Execute SQL task is going to be performing batch operation. Whenever you insert the data, delete the data, update the data, it is going to be performing batch by batch. The next one is processing, analysis processing. This, as of now, forget about it. It is for SSIS activity. You should not be worried about it now. So the next one is called bulk insert. Okay, na? Used to import text files data into SQL Server table. Advantage is faster than the data flow task, can get range of data. Disadvantages, source must be a flat file or a text file, no other source. Destination must be a SQL Server, no other destination. Cannot validate a clean transform data with this task. Cannot get error rows separately. Maximum time you will be able to give the data, where? In notepads only. In IT industry, not only IT industry, globally, worldwide, how data from one place to another place will travel means maximum time in the notepads only. Clear? So somebody gives you data in the notepad. For example, I am giving you data, employee ID, employee name, employee salary. I am giving you this data. I am having my data. I am from Amazon.com. I am giving my data in this. So like this, I have some data. Okay. So this is a notepad data, or you can say flat file data. Notepad data called as a text file data. It is also called as a flat file data. So all of them are synonyms, or these are also called as a CSV files. Clear? Comma, separated value. There is a comma. There is a comma. So this file is also called as a CSV file. This file is also called as a notepad, text file. All these are synonyms. Maximum time I'm going to be giving you millions of data. Millions of data the companies are going to be giving. Now you tell me, if we have 10 rows, will you be using SSIS? You tell me. If we have a 1 liter of water, will you be buying a motor pump? Or you wanted to take 10,000 liter every day. For that purpose, you're going to be using SSIS. So I cannot, write 10 million data, but you need to assume that whenever the company is using ETL means they are dealing with the millions of data from one place to another place they wanted to send. Clear? So ETLs are nothing but data importing, exporting softwares. So you have always millions of data to be transformed and transported or moving from one place to another place. Remember, clear? But for the training, we will take only 3 to 4 rows. Clear? So now I have some data here. I wanted to move this data from where to where. I wanted to move this data from here to here. So in between, I'm using SSIS. Clear? So this is going to be moving data into the SQL Server database. Only SQL Server, not Oracle and other thing. So this is a database. You create one table, you will be able to move. So SSIS is going can use bulk insert task. Ardhamautunda? The task is called bulk insert task. It can read the data very, very quickly, very, very fast, and maximum time it is people are going to be using this activity because this is a faster. If you wanted to take the flat file data, move into SQL Server. If it is Oracle, we cannot use bulk insert task. అర్థమవుతుందా? So only when you have to have the flat file here, notepad, and you should have SQL Server only. Then only you will be able to load the data. This is very, very important. Maximum times the companies will give you notepads. So you may have some duplicates. For example, sometimes this data is duplicated, right? So you have one more, let us say, some sale. Now, when you move the data, this data will be going as it is. Okay. So you cannot clean the data because I have a duplicate. I would like to remove the duplicate and store only this data. You cannot remove that. So as it is, you have to dump like this. Okay. Then this will be your source. This will be your source. So as it is, you're dumping the data into where? Staging. Staging means, I told you, a temporary staging server or staging computer. Staging means a temporary place. As it is, you're going to be dumping with the help of a ETL, SSIS, especially for bulk insert task. Clear? So you're going to be dumping the data to the staging. Then here you're going to be cleaning. So you'll be removing this, and after this, you will be loading the data into your data warehouse. Data warehouse is one more place. Cleaned data is going to be going there. Clear? So always you get the data as it is here, and after getting the data, you clean this here. The cleaned data you're going to be dumping here. Clear? So like that. So if you wanted to take all the data, even though you have a lot of mistakes, or sometimes you will have data like this. One, you have 5,000, then you say Mary. So what is happening? The name has become salary, salary has become name. This is error data, bad data. So this kind of a data is called as a bad data. Now what will happen? All the data will come. All the data will come as it is here. Then you have to see what is the duplicate data that you have to remove, what is the bad data technically. How technically we'll delete, we'll see, but this will be deleted and only plain data. You can also say bad data. So this data you will be able to keep it here. You will be able to have this data. You will be able to have this data. This data you can give it to your client saying that, sir, this is the correct data. This is the bad data. Clean data gone to data warehousing. Bad data I'm keeping in the staging itself. Clear? So like that, lot of data you will be able to get from the source. Lot of things. Sometimes you will have 6 1. You need to have some name. Let us say Lakshmi. and let me have some salary. So what will happen? No data will be here. No data will be here. You will have, 6 comma comma 6 comma comma. Then you will have one more data. Say, Prabha, I have some data like this. Now you tell me, do you think that it is a data? It is not a data. It is also called as a bad data. So all these are, we can have like this bad data. So we will not be able to take this data. You have to import as it is here. Now using a different techniques, we need to identify what are the techniques we are going to be using. We will discuss next 1 month. So all the data, cleaned data only will go. So this is what is called bad data. All of them are null values, reverse data, lot of other things. Clear? So bulk insert can take all the data from here, and you will be able to load all the data to this. Now later you will be able to get. So what is the advantage? Bulk insert. Bulk insert cannot clean the data. It can dump the data as it is from the source to destination. Later you can clean the data, but bulk insert is faster. Remember, source must be a flat file. Source cannot be Excel file. Destination cannot be anything else other than the SQL Server. Compulsory interview question. Okay, now the next one. This one we'll talk later. The next one is called a data profiling task. What is data profiling? This is a data profiling. The next one. Profiling means what? Sampling. Profiles a data source, identifies the data quality problems, for example, blah blah. Now you tell me, somebody is telling you, I will give you some rise, or somebody is telling you, I will give you my data. Now, before doing data analytics, don't you think so? You need to worry about the quality of the data. Tomorrow, you are buying, you wanted to prepare some food, but somebody told, I will give you rice bag for free. Whether free or payable, but will you be checking the quality or not? Because if you don't get the high quality of rice, whatever you prepare tomorrow, that will be of no use. People will say, "Arey yaar, Bhaskar Jogi donated lot of food, but the rice is smelling." Now, what is the use? Even though if somebody giving me rice for free, or I am buying the rice, I need to sample the rice, right? If I don't sample the rice tomorrow, if I create a food item using that raw material, if I deliver the food item to somebody else, the somebody else will cheat, will call me, and they will blame me, saying that this guy did not bother about the quality of the delivered product. You cannot blame tomorrow. No, 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 no. I did not buy the rice. Somebody provided the rice. With that only I have prepared. It is not my mistake. It is their mistake. Can you blame like that? So people will not listen to this. End of the day, you are delivering the food. You have to take care of the control about raw material as well. Now, if you wanted to prepare a Power BI report or some report tomorrow, if the data which you are taking and loading is not so cleaned data, what will happen? Your reporting will fail, your data analytics will fail. So you have to sample the data so before loading it. Clear? So data profiling task can tell you whether data is a cleaned data or not. How do you do that? Rice is good or bad? How do you know? You have to go get some 1 kg of rice. You are going to be cooking the rice and testing the color of the rice, smell of the rice, and after cooking, you eat and check whether everything is tasty or not. Like that, you are going to be doing some sampling. Clear? Like that, you go to the company, collect a lot of 1,000 rows, 1,000 rows, 1,000 rows, and you're going to be randomly checking the quality. Are there any duplicate data? Are there any blank values? Are there any misspellings of the data? Are the data very cleaned data or having any issues? So if it is not cleaned data, so we can tell them that, sir, the data is not so cleaned, we have to clean it. Cleaning purpose, we need to going to charge this much of amount. Or you clean the data and give it to me. Clear? So we have to tell them that rice is not so good, sir. We have to have the labor so that they can clean the rice, or we have to do something else, or we have to do something else. Based on the sampling only, you can decide whether you need to take the rice or not. Because tomorrow they will say, we have given you data, these people did not tell me anything, they created wrong reports. Now they're telling that data is your mistake. So that you would have told them in the day one itself, this data cannot be used for the data analytics purpose. You cannot say, sir, with this data you will be able to get this kind of a report. You cannot blame today, or you cannot tell today to the client, because the client would have invested thousands of crores of amount. Then you cannot tell them today. So day one itself you need to sample the data before writing the program. Clear? So SSIS data profiling task, when you supply some data from your input, it can tell you what are the issues with the data. So the same issues you can talk to the customer. You can tell, sir, these are the issues with the data. So what you want me to do? You want me to clean the data? I will clean it. Or again, for the cleaning purpose, I have to recruit 3 more people. So those people again, budget will get increased. So tell me, you want me to increase the technical people? So I will increase. They will be able to write a program and clean your data. So they will say, okay, no problem. Because if you don't clean my data, I will not be able to get required output in the report. Clear, guys? Data sampling is one of the activity before any BI or data analytics program starts. That is the thing. The next one is called execute package task. Okay, so this one you can call one package inside another package. So it is used to call other packages, can create a parent and child packages, can package or execute parallelly. If you remove this link, all of them can execute parallelly. We'll talk about more tomorrow, because you don't understand what is, so within this package, within this package, I can call this package and this package. That is the meaning. We will discuss later. Don't worry about it. So the next one is called execute process task. Okay, so in this, so execute process task. In this, you can call other applications. For example, I have to call WhatsApp. WhatsApp is not a SSIS application, right? But I have to call, or I have to call one Java application, or I have to call one .NET application. So this can call all these applications without having anything. For example, using WhatsApp, I would like to send a message to everybody. I have the phone numbers. I have to send a message to everybody saying that, hey, SSIS is ready. Hey, SSIS is ready. Some message. I would like to send it to thousands of people. So, how to send a message in WhatsApp? So, you need to have a WhatsApp application that you have to call in your execute process task. So SSIS also call lot of other applications. So we will discuss some more beautiful activities with this later. So this is simple example. Okay. The next one is called expression task. Expression means you can write some complex expressions. Okay. You don't understand this, but I wanted to do a lot of expressions with the help of variables and everything. So this will discuss later. You don't understand now. So this is expression task. The next one is called file system task. File system means what? Operating system. The next one is called file system. File system means operating system. So in operating system, what normally we do? So file system ante enti telusa? File system means operating system. Operating system means what? It is a Windows. Okay, Windows, Linux, Mac, all of them are operating system. So what all you do? You create a folder. So it will have only files and folders, right? So Windows operating system, you will have only two things, files and folders. You create a file, you delete a file, blah, blah, blah. So like that, file system task can perform creating a file, deleting a file, creating a folder, deleting a folder, renaming the folder. Only it is going to be working with files and folders. Clear? So that is what we can discuss. So we will have a demos. Don't worry about it. we'll continue further. Sarena, we'll stop the class. So these are the few activities we have discussed orally, and we do the demos from day after tomorrow. You please install the MSBA software, especially SSIS software, and make it ready. I'm going to be starting my lab session from day after tomorrow. Clear? So make sure you enroll the batch. Today is the last date for the enrollments for this batch. Make sure you make the payments and continue in this batch. Otherwise, enrollments will get stopped. Thank you, guys. Any questions? You're welcome.